Hey y'all, Ashley here. I just wanted to take a minute to show you how I fill out a meal plan. I'm not going to do the whole plan for you right now because it does take a lot of thought and kind of puzzling things together and piecing things together to get the whole thing finished. But I did want to give you some highlights as to how I approach it and some thought process that goes into it. So before we get started, I want to just orient you to kind of how I like to do it. So I like to use Excel for my meal plans because I like the spreadsheet format. You can, by all means, use whatever format works best for you. Sometimes paper and pencil with colored pencils or markers works for people to keep it color coded. But I really like Excel. I like that I can see all of the different colors and it's all kind of right there for me in one spot. And I'm more of a computer person anyway, so it kind of works out. So um, this is the first page that I have, the first sheet on here. And as you can see, it's got the days of the week at the top, and then it's got my meals down the side. This is generally how I like to split my meals up to get all of my containers in for the day. So I always have breakfast, and then I have a mid-morning snack, lunch, a mid-afternoon snack, dinner, and then I opt to have a snack after dinner. I make sure to save some containers so that I have a little bit of fuel for after dinner because I generally do my workouts in the evenings, and so it's nice to have something post-workout that I can eat and kind of keep my energy up. It's never anything heavy, so I'm not too worried about eating. You're not really supposed to eat past 7 or 7:30 at night because a lot of people wind down at that point. Your body winds down. Your metabolism isn't quite as strong as it was at the beginning of the day, and so you don't want anything super heavy kind of sitting on your stomach. So I just have something light to kind of help me power through because I stay up kind of late, and so I need some extra fuel. So down here at the bottom, I have the colors for everything. So of course your greens, purples, reds, yellows, etc. And this is where I'm going to keep a running tally of the containers that I've used. And so as I use one, I'll just mark that I've used it so I can remember kind of what totals I've gotten. Over here is just a reminder to me of how many containers I get for each level. So I'm doing a meal plan for the second bracket of containers. I feel like this is one that a lot of people probably relate to. And you can either add the containers if you're going up a bracket or two brackets, or deduct if you're going down to the lowest bracket of containers. So this is just to remind me exactly how many I get. So let's just start with what I always do. Getting notifications. Let me orient you to the other sheets too. So I also have as the second sheet just a list of what I like from the meal plans or from the booklet. I could probably add a few things to this because I feel like I've expanded my horizons a lot through this program, trying different foods. But this is just in general what from each type of container I will eat uh, in each category. So um, I just have them listed so that I can remember that cottage cheese is a red, and it's not necessarily a blue, where some of the other dairy falls into. It helps me remember that sweet potato and corn and things like that fall into your yellows, that kind of thing. So on the third sheet, I also have kind of put some of our favorite recipes or things that are kind of go-to meals for us so that I have them easily accessible with the container counts for my meal plan because they're things that we eat a lot. There's some more that I need to add to this, but this is a good thing for you to do as you find things that you like so that you can just copy and paste them straight into your meal plan and not even have to think about it. So we'll go back to the first sheet. And the first thing that I always do is I put in my Shakeology first because I know it's a meal that I'm going to have every day. I generally have it at the very beginning of the day. And so it's the first thing I'm going to put in. So I like to use my colors. And so I will actually go down and copy and paste the red so that I don't have to go up here. This is the other place that you could go if you want to get that color, the little fill color, and you can fill that in. But I'm a little anal retentive, so I like to have it all be the same, and so I always just go down and copy it. So I'm using a Mac, so Command C is how I would copy, or you can go up here and copy this way. And then you would just go and paste it in there, and then I write Shakeology or Shako, and I know that that's going to be there. I also know that that's something I'm going to do every single day, so I copy and paste both and go across and save those all the way across. So now I've got my Shakos in there for every day. I generally don't add things unless I just have some extra containers. So I keep it just the Shakeology in the beginning. And then if I have extra containers with either spinach that you can add to it or some sort of fruit, then I might add that in. The other thing I do after I fill that in is I go down here and I put a 1 for the fact that I've used a red container. And then again, I'll just copy and paste that all the way across so that it is in all of the columns. So now I've got that part done. So for me, that's something that I know I'm going to have every day and it's going to fall into generally the same spot. So I just go ahead and knock it out. So there are kind of two ways you can approach how to fill out the rest of it. So you can either go day by day or you can do it based on meals. So for us, the most complex meal that we have is going to be dinner. So I like to do dinner as my first big part so that I know exactly how many containers I'm taking away with whatever dinner it is that we're using. So I'm going to go to this third sheet and I'm going to pick this crock pot chicken recipe, and I'm going to copy and paste it over into this other sheet because it's something that, well, that didn't work quite the way I wanted it to. Now did it? Let's see. I'm going to copy and paste it over into this. Hopefully it will work. There we go. And it's one that we eat a lot. So we do a lot of crock pot meals. The chicken that you can use from the crock pot chicken, it lasts us a couple of days, so we'll use it for different meals. But this makes chicken tostadas that we really, really like. And so it's just chicken, corn tortillas that we put in the oven and make them crispy. And then we put lettuce and peppers and onions, and then half of a blue of shredded cheese and creamy herb dressing, which is one of the recipes from your book. So it's really good. I struggle a lot with dressings because a lot of the pre-made ones that you buy in the store don't fall into the category of orange because of what's in them. A lot of them have a lot of sugar or additives. So we like to make all of our own dressings. It's much easier than you might think it is, and then it helps us get our oranges in for the day because we generally have something that involves a dressing at some point every single day. So now that I've got those added in, I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I know that I've used 2 reds at this point, 1 yellow, 2 greens, a half of a blue, which will be interesting to figure out where that other half needs to go later. And that has turned it into a date for me, which I don't want it to be a date. So just make sure that everything is set to just be numbers. You could also do 0.5 if you want so that you can see it. So that just shows you how many containers. Then you can kind of look over here and remember, okay, well, I get 4 greens, so I'm still got 2 greens that I need to use. I haven't used any purples yet. I've got, 2 more reds to use and 2 more yellows, that kind of thing. So that's one of the dinners. So I would probably approach it just from a day by day so you can get Monday out of the way and then Tuesday. One of the other tips that a lot of people like to give is to rotate your meals. So you may have certain days of the week that it makes sense for you to eat the same thing. I like to have variety in my menu, so I don't really eat the same thing every single day for every meal. I'll do my Shakeology, and then I'll vary up my snack 1, which for me is technically breakfast, a little bit. Throughout the week, I'll vary up my lunches a little bit, but I may eat the same thing a couple times a week, and so just keep that in mind. So what I would normally do after I fill out my dinner is I go and figure out my lunches. So this is one that I really like. It is sliced turkey on a tortilla with avocado and cucumber, and then I always have some fruit with it. So I fill that in based on the fact that I already know I like it and I've got it saved back there on that third sheet. And so then I just fill in these containers down at the bottom again. And that helps me get that second half of the blue in because I'm using half of the avocado. And I will fully admit that I generally end up using more avocado than you're supposed to because avocado is wonderful. And so I may end up with about a blue of it instead of just half of one. Not really going to hurt things too much to do that as long as you just do it in moderation. Um, so I fill in the rest of these, and then it shows me, now that I've got two of my main meals, kind of where I can fill other things in. So I've still got one green that I need to figure out for the day. I've got two more purples, so a lot of fruit left. I've got one more red that I need to figure out, one more yellow. I've used my blue and I've used my orange, and I don't have any teaspoons yet. So I've only got snacks left that I need to worry about. So because I make snack one more of a breakfast for me, I'm going to actually do that one next, and I'm going to do oatmeal for this one. So I would copy my yellow and then just have, I do steel cut oats. I have not yet tried the overnight oats recipes, but I really want to for this round because I think it would be easy, and we'll post some of those in the group for you guys. But I just do steel cut oats. We make a whole batch of them on Sunday, and then we portion them out into little Tupperware containers so that I have them all week. And they're really easy to just grab and go. We put a little bit of cinnamon and stevia on them to make them sweet. And then I'm actually going to add in as well some strawberries. So I'm going to add some fruit to it so that I get another one of my purples in. So again, I'll go down here and I'll just change what I've got so that I can see what my tallies still are. So I've still got two more snacks. I need one purple, one green, one red. I've used all of my yellows, so now the yellows are done, and then I've still got my blacks, or my teaspoons for oils. So I like to have a protein a lot of times in the afternoon just to kind of help me power through that time when you have a lot of cravings. And so I like to use a red down here in the snack 2 and do cottage cheese. That's normally my go-to to get that last red in for the day and to give me a little bit of energy in the afternoons. Another option is hard-boiled eggs. So that's something else that I've done before. And so it's just kind of whatever it is that you like. My afternoon snack normally ends up being a little bit of a hodgepodge. And so I'll fill in that cottage cheese first, and then I'll think about what else I might want to do. And so because I still have a green left, I've got a couple options. I could just have some sort of veggies, which is probably what I'll do. So just filling in the green with just probably cucumber, carrots, and maybe some tomatoes. Something else you could do is have another small salad and use one of your free items, like just a vinegar, like a balsamic vinegar. Not the vinaigrette that's going to be more of a dressing because that's going to use some of your oils unless you do want to use some of your teaspoons. But just, some sort of balsamic vinegar would be fine. So that takes care of that fourth green that I needed. So now all I have left are my teaspoons and one purple. So my go-to snack at the end of the day is going to be an apple with peanut butter. And so I really like peanut butter, so I generally save up all of my teaspoons to go down in this peanut butter part down here. That will vary depending on what it is that you're making. So if I hadn't done crock-pot chicken, I might have done chicken on a skillet and used, let's say, 2 teaspoons of oil to cook it, something along those lines. Then I would have used those teaspoons elsewhere. But because I saved them all, I can use them all for my peanut butter in the afternoon. So what you would kind of do from here, because now that you've got day 1 figured out, is you would just continue on with the rest of the days that you have, doing one day at a time, and filling those things in. Like I said, normally do the apple and peanut butter in the evening, so I would probably just go ahead and put that one all the way across because I know that that's something that I'm going to use pretty consistently. And so I would just make sure that I go ahead and account for that and put all of my tallies down here just so that I don't forget that I've used them. But it gets easier as you go through it. I know I probably made that seem way easier than it should. The hardest part is figuring out what kind of food you like and what you want to add into your meal plan. So once you get that part figured out and figuring out kind of how to puzzle piece all of the meals together, you'll get these meal plans done in no time. And so don't get stressed if this is the first time you've ever done one. Definitely ask us questions, and let's have some discussion on the board today if we can, while everybody's kind of thinking about their meal plans and getting ready to go shopping if you haven't done so already. But let's have some discussion about things that you really like to eat, or asking about, is there a healthier way to kind of make this into a fix approved meal, that kind of thing. Pinterest is a wonderful resource. The Fixate cookbook that is based specifically for the 21 Day Fix is also a wonderful resource. And if you need to get your hands on one of those, Megan or I can definitely help you figure that out too. But I hope this tutorial has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing your meal plans. We want to encourage everybody to post their meal plans on the page in the group for us whenever you get them done, just so we can take a look at them, especially if this is the first time you've ever done one. Let us take a look and make sure that you are kind of accounting for all of the containers where they need to be and that kind of thing. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to do my best to check in, but we've got a kind of a busy day today. We're going to do our grocery shopping and do some other stuff with the kids. So weekends are a little less structured than the weeks are. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.